Why poor is so important. A man makes $11 an hour. He works 40 hours a week. He has done this for 6 years. In that time, his rent has doubled. His wage has not. Somewhere else, a spreadsheet opens, a line goes up, a bonus gets approved. Nobody in that room has ever met him, but his labor is in that number. It just doesn't have his name on it. This is not a story about bad luck. It is a story about design. Stay with that for a second, because most people never do. They assume poverty is an accident, a gap that shrinks as the economy grows, a problem waiting for the right policy, the right decade, the right amount of hustle. But here's the uncomfortable part. Poverty is not a leftover. It is load-bearing. Entire systems are built assuming it stays exactly where it is. Right now, in 2026, that assumption is being tested harder than it has been in 50 years. Automation is cutting into entry-level work. Rent in major cities has outpaced wage growth for over a decade straight. And the people most exposed to both of those pressures are the ones with the least room to absorb a shock. So the question isn't, why does poverty exist? The question is, why does it need to? Let's break down how the machine actually works, because it's simpler than anyone wants to admit. Every economy needs a price for labor. And like anything else with a price, labor gets cheaper when there's more supply than demand. A pool of people who need a job badly, any job, urgently, is not a side effect of the system. It's an input. Economists have a term for this, and it sounds clinical on purpose. The natural rate of unemployment. Read that again. Natural, as if a certain number of people staying jobless is not a policy outcome, but a law of physics, like gravity, like the tide. Central banks target this number, not eliminate it. Target it. Because if unemployment drops too low, workers gain leverage. They can ask for raises. They can quit a bad job knowing another one is waiting. Wages start climbing, and that climbing gets a name too, one that sounds almost like a threat. Wage inflation. So a certain amount of financial hardship isn't a bug being patched. It's a dial being adjusted. Now here's where it gets personal. That $11 an hour worker isn't just underpaid by accident. He's part of a mechanism that keeps prices stable for everyone above him. His stagnant wage is, in a very real sense, subsidizing your latte staying at $5 instead of $8. Nobody planned this in a single meeting. Nobody needed to. The system rewards whichever company keeps labor costs lowest and punishes the one that doesn't. So over time, keeping wages low stops being a choice. It becomes survival. For the business, if not for the worker. Let's talk about the money that does exist, because this is where the math turns strange. In the past decade, corporate profit margins in the U.S. have hit some of the highest levels ever recorded. At the same time, the share of national income going to workers as wages has been flat or shrinking. Two lines. One goes up, one doesn't. They are not unrelated. They are the same story told from two different rooms. Meanwhile, the cost of appearing successful has exploded. A car that signals stability, an apartment in the right zip code, an education that promises a ladder but increasingly just delivers a longer rope. People are told to invest, budget, hustle their way out, and some do. But the system was never built to let everyone climb at once. If everyone became financially secure tomorrow, half the industries selling debt, urgency, and anxiety would have nothing left to sell. That's the part that should unsettle you. An enormous portion of the modern economy doesn't fight poverty. It manages it. Payday loans, subprime credit, rent-to-own furniture, buy now, pay later apps that turn a $50 purchase into 4 separate emotional decisions. These aren't glitches in capitalism. They are entire industries built specifically around the fact that poor people exist, stay poor, and need short-term relief badly enough to pay a premium for it. Here's the irony nobody puts in the pitch deck. Being poor is expensive. Overdraft fees, higher interest rates on subprime loans, deposits that require cash you don't have to save money you don't have. The less you have, the more it costs you to have anything at all. Now zoom out further. Because this isn't just a corporate story, It's a political one, too. A population that is financially stretched is a population with less time to organize, less energy to protest, less legal firepower to fight back when something goes wrong. Scarcity isn't just an economic condition, it's a behavioral one. Study after study shows that financial stress narrows decision-making, the same way hunger narrows what you can think about. Besides food, a stressed population is, in a very cold sense, an easier population to manage. This doesn't require a conspiracy. It requires nothing at all. Just inertia. Just millions of individually rational decisions made by people optimizing for quarterly earnings, stacking up into a structure that nobody designed on purpose and almost nobody can dismantle on purpose either. So where does that leave the hype? Because there's always hype. Every year there's a headline about the labor market being the strongest in a generation, unemployment near historic lows, stocks at record highs, and all of that can be true at the exact same time that real wages, adjusted for what things actually cost, haven't meaningfully moved for the bottom half of earners in decades. The economy can grow. Poverty can persist. These are not contradictions. They are compatible outcomes of the exact same system. That's the part that should really sit with you. Growth was never a promise that everyone rises. It was only ever a promise that the total gets bigger. Nobody ever guaranteed how it gets split. So why is poor so important? Because the alternative is inconvenient for too many people who currently benefit from things staying exactly as they are. A world with no urgency in the labor pool is a world with rising wages, shrinking margins, and a very different set of winners. None of this means the system is evil. It might just mean it's honest about something we've been too polite to say out loud. Poverty isn't the economy failing the poor. In its current form, poverty is the economy working exactly as designed, which leaves one real question, the one nobody wants asked out loud in a boardroom. If the system needs a certain number of people to struggle in order to function the way it currently does, what exactly are we optimizing the economy for? And are we sure it was ever supposed to be us?